Good morning, everyone. It's Pierre speaking. It is Tuesday morning, the 14th of April 2015. What's up? What's up? Well, like my kids always say, Dad, the sky is up. In any case, let's have a look here, guys. Take note of my write-up. I think there's a couple of nice tips in there for you guys. I know we've got a lot of new members. It takes time, guys. Forex, I get so annoyed with the marketing people out there. They make it looks so easy. They're selling all their, almost I used a bad word here, but yeah, let's say it. They're selling their crap all over the internet. They make it look easy, and they're making fortune by selling stuff to you that most of the time doesn't work. The main thing is you have to put in the screen time and just get on with it. The more screen time you will put in, the easier it will get. And the Earth and Sky trading system and method is not that difficult at all. Let's start off with the Euro Index 4-hour chart. Now we had a nice drop, 215 pips from last week down. Remember, that's the closing price, the opening price, so that was a 215 pip drop. We need to flip from the high to the low. And most of the pairs this week, guys, we will look at the 4-hour charts because we had those nice drops. So if we flip it, we've got a zone starting at 9,591 going up to 9,668. Now that's a potential trading zone for a week. But before we go on, guys, this is what I say in the write-up. If we make new lows, you have to honor it. Follow it with your FIP, because that potential trading zone will move. And there's a couple of them where we're very high or low, so that it can make new low, highs or lows. So follow it with your FIP so that the potential trading zone can move. Now, also keep an eye on 95.55 this week. That's where we have the 38.2 FIP. The 55 EMA is coming down, and just above it we have the weekly main pivot point. We have MACD divergence, so please take note of that. That tells us that there's a pullback coming. Stochastic is oversold. The basket pairs, Euro US dollar, Euro JPY and Euro pound, looks the same. Also the 4-hour, if we flip from the high to the low, we've got a zone starting at 779 going up to 907. MACD divergence on the card. Stochastic is in an oversold area, so that tells us there's a potential pullback coming. Keep your eyes on 718 this week as well. That is where we have that 38.2 FIP. We have the 55 coming down, and we have the weekly main pivot point in that area too. Euro JPY, also MACD divergence, also the 4-hour chart. If we have the FIP from the high to the low, and remember, if we make new lows, follow it with your FIP to get the potential trading zone. 128.77, 130.03 is the trading zone. We need a pullback at least to 128.66 before I will get excited to short again. Potential counter trades now at 126.02 if we do find good solid support here. If you look at the Euro Pound 4-hour chart, look at this. When I did my write-up, price was there. We made a new low, so we have to honor it. So then the potential trading zone will move a little bit down. If we do that, we've got a zone starting at 7256. Now I'm talking nonsense. 7279 going up to 7328. But the 58.2 FIP, 7256 will be key. The 55 is moving down previous support resistance if you look to the left of the chart. So that will be our first port of call this week to look for those shorts. If we do spike, 7281, 7293 will be the next areas to look for shorts. Possible counter trade, 7189 going back up to 7256 for profit take area. But be careful with counter trades this week, guys. If we look at the pound US dollar, another pair where there's MACD divergence. Last week we closed 286 pips lower. So we can do that on the 4-hour from the high to the low. We've got a zone 4775 going to 4879. Now potential pullback to 4725 is on the cards here. Look at this level, guys. It's a weekly main pivot point. Look to the left of the chart. We had a bit of support resistance in that area too. So keep that in mind. We can have a spike up to 4768. I will prefer that level. That's a better level for me to look for shorts. If you look at the pound JPY, remember it's correlated with the pound US dollar. Also MACD divergence. If we flip the previous week from the high to the low, we've got a zone starting 177.28 going up to 178.27. I will prefer a pullback, 176.97 at least, with a spike up to 177.25, where I will be interested to look for short. Look to the left of the chart, previous support resistance, the 55 is there, and the 50% FIP. Possible counter trades, 174.64 back up to 176.97. Now if you look at the Aussie US dollar 4-hour chart, took a nice short on it. I explained to you guys why. If we flip the previous week from the high to the low, we've got a zone starting at 7645 going up to 7692. Price currently having a problem, 7581. We're sitting on that pivot point. I will prefer a pullback at least to 7660, 7650 in that area there. If that area do break, guys, we can spike up to the mother-in-law 7713, where that will be the next line in the sand to take short. But for now, 7660 is key. Aussie JPY. Also, last we closed 151 pips higher than the opening, but beginning of the week we already had this drop. Okay, so you can see we're trending down. That's why I can flip from the high to the low, even though we close 137 pips higher than the opening price. The EMAs are stacked to go short on the 4 and the daily. That's why we can flip from the high to the low. Now look at this. When I did my write up, we made a new low already, so you can move it down so that the trading zone starts at 9187 going up to 9245. Price currently having a problem at 9075, so there's a potential area to long again, back up to 9191. This is my area where I'll be looking to short, guys. 9191, that's a 50% FIP area. The 55 EMA is there, the 54 EMA is there, and if we look to the left of the chart, previous support resistance. If we do spike through or do break this level, 92.45 to short will be the next line in the sand. Be careful with a counter short. Make absolutely sure there's confirmation to take this counter long. What did I say? Counter short. Sorry guys, counter long there. Okay, 90.75. Be careful. US dollar JPY weekly chart. We are in ascending triangle. I will be sitting on my hands. That's a hell of a lot of EMAs, and we just whipsaw through it. If we look at the daily chart, you can see, I hate it when this happens, when price ignores all the EMAs and just whipsaw through it, because then there is no support resistance in that area. Price just does whatever it wants to. So I will be sitting on my hands till this trend line breaks or this part up here for the ascending triangle to go further up. Problem that I've got is that we have MACD divergence on a weekly chart, so that's big. Look at the MACD divergence. Price is trending sideways with a top there, so we can break to the downside. So although we have an ascending triangle showing us that price is going to break to the upside, MACD is telling us something else. US dollar CAD weekly chart sitting on my hands. Looks like we've got a top area in this 2840 and a bottom area at 2390. So the brave ones, you can look for potential bounce rates between these two levels. US dollar index. Last week we closed 271 pips higher, so we can also flip the 4-hour. If we flip from the bottom of last week to the top, we've got a zone starting at 9817 going to 9725. Keep your eyes on the 58.2 FIP. 9860 is also key, because we have a weekly main pivot point there. Also the 55 EMA is in the way there as well. If we do break it to the downside, be careful, as we can fall to the mother-in-law at 9746. Well, that's me for the week, guys. Hang out with us in the forum, and I'll see you guys later on Friday with a catch-up movie clip. Cheers.